What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the PickSwap Media YouTube channel. My name is Sean Bernard as usual, and I'm excited to announce that for this video, we have partnered with WHOP.com, WHOP.com. WHOP is an all-in-one marketplace for sports communities and other digital products. If you're looking to find communities on all things sports, sports capping, sports betting, and sports fandom, head to WHOP.com/sports. They're the all-in-one digital marketplace, the Amazon of the future for digital products. I'm incredibly proud and excited to be partnering, so make sure to go check that out. You can click the link in our description and our comments. Thank you to WAP for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for tuning in.
Jack it up.
Hurts keeps, Hurts cuts, Hurts has the first down, and Jalen Hurts might have just put it away for the Eagles. Touchdown.
Tyrese Maxey and the Sixers are going to win this game. Joel, tough turnaround in the lane. Another 30-10 performance for Joel Embiid.
Hurts connects with Devontae Smith.
Hello and welcome back to 2 and 5 Scoop Podcast. It's been a little while since we've last talked, but we are here once again to talk about the Eagles. And then the regular season is now finished, so we got Super Wildcard Weekend coming up this weekend. I'm stoked about it. I'm really excited. Going to watch football all weekend. Got the day off on Monday too for school and everything. So looking forward to this weekend. Asher, how you feeling by the way today?
I'm excited. I'm really happy the Eagles, they kind of drug it out to the last week, made us sweat a little bit about that first seed. Mm-hmm. As far as this weekend goes, I really feel like this is the least intriguing wild card weekend we've had in a long time.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's really strange with all the new teams in there too. Like you'd think it'd be more intriguing with all the new teams. I think we have like 7 new teams this year.
Yeah,
I think I tried counting in my head, but
a lot of shakeup.
What?
A lot of shakeup in the the kind of parity of the league.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like there's the divisional matchups like Seahawks Niners, like that's probably not going to be particularly close.
No.
Bills Dolphins, the Dolphins down to their third string QB. Another like if everyone was at full health, that game would probably be interesting.
Yeah, maybe it might get interesting there. But like
Lamar is not expected to play at this point, so
yeah,
I'm not as stoked as I wish I was.
I mean, like I'm stoked because I'm looking forward to obviously the Cowboys. I want to see them choke again on Monday night against the Bucks, and then we also there's close games. I mean, half the games this weekend are like mid, but 3 of them should be really tight, and I think they could really shake things up here. But we'll get into those later. First off, let's just talk about the Eagles. They finally pulled it out, clinched the 1 seed and the NFC East this past weekend. With a 22-16 win over the Giants. Granted, the Giants really start many of their starters. They have many of their starters sitting, right?
Yeah, we were playing their whole team, and they kind of made it close, but beggars can't be choosers.
Right. So finally glad to have that done. Now that the regular season is over, and now we're moving on to playoff time. I just want to ask you, after watching this Eagles team, especially after the last few weeks, how confident are you in them making a deep run here for the Super Bowl?
I'm still decently confident. I really don't think my confidence has wavered much since, mid-season when I really started believing this was a Super Bowl team. Mm-hmm. Yes, Jalen Hurts didn't look great last week, but he was also obviously playing very conservative. He was there's a couple plays where he slid like probably 4 or 5 yards earlier than he would have in a like higher stakes game. I guess he didn't want to hurt that shoulder again, and I get it. The rest, like Lane Johnson, should be back by the time we play. Hurts is he has this whole week off to practice, so I feel like this team is really going to start looking like that team we saw against the Titans and the Giants at full strength.
Yeah, I think this team is getting a lot healthier. I mean, we had like a little stint the last couple of weeks of the season where it was like scary. Like we had Avonte Maddox go down. We had Darius Slay. We had Jordan Davis go down. I mean, we were just having all these injuries, and it was, for me as a fan, I was like scared for a couple of weeks. I was like, I don't know, like what the team's going to look like come playoff time. But from the looks of it, Lane's playing, but I don't think he's going to be playing at 100% because of the surgery he needs. Yeah. Jalen should be back 100%. CJ Gardner-Johnson, he was on IR for 6 weeks?
He was out for a while, yeah.
Yeah, so he's coming back. So the team's getting healthier. But from 1 to 10, what would you rank yourself as far as how confident you are in this team?
Confident in making a run to win the Super Bowl?
Like 10 is like, oh yeah, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. 1 is like, yeah, we might be first round bounces. Might get bounced in the first round.
I'm gonna say 6. I'm fairly confident this team comes out of the NFC. I think if we meet the Bengals, Chiefs, or Bills in the Super Bowl, which is like if we go to the Super Bowl, it's gonna be one of those teams. I don't think we win.
Yeah.
I just think the AFC is
Yeah.
so much more dominant than the NFC is this season.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, you have like the 4 seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers who are 8 and 9 in the NFC playoffs right now. You know, it's just not the NFC is really weak, and yeah.
I would say even the Seahawks, who made it in as the last seed, I think they're a below average team in the NFL. I would have much rather have seen the Lions or Packers, which I know is a hot take, but I just think the Packers could like have a better chance of making a run than the Seahawks do.
Yeah, I definitely thought that the Packers would make it in over the Lions and the Seahawks, but Packers kind of sold that last game, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they really, really sold. They were atrocious. I mean, the Lions, honestly, this year they're a team that had a lot of heart. I think they were one of the most like they played with the most heart. You know, like I don't know if they had that much talent, but like and obviously like their offense was great and their defense was just atrocious. But if they can get a couple more pieces on the defense, I mean, we could look at probably an NFC North like contender, probably being a wild card team next year.
Especially that last game, like the lateral play to kind of seal the game.
Yeah,
pretty ballsy, very fun move. I mean, I think Detroit is a place that a lot of free agents are going to be looking. People want to play for Dan Campbell. The culture there is really kind of coming together. So I mean, the Lions are on the up and up.
Yeah, definitely. Dan Campbell should definitely be up there for Coach of the Year, in my opinion. It's got to be him, Brian DeBall, or Nick Sirianni. That's what I would say.
I think it's going to be DeBall.
Yeah, I think it's going to be DeBall.
There's a certain point even in the middle of the season after the Giants had started so strongly, where it really looked like they weren't going to make the playoffs, and then he kind of pulled them up again. Mm-hmm. So that was impressive, just as impressive as the beginning of the season, I think.
Yeah, honestly, I definitely agree with that because they were at one point they were just in shambles, like they were just injured everywhere. I know there's cornerback 1 was out, CB2 was out. I know they had a safety out. I think Kayvon Thibodeau missed some time.
Yeah, they're banged up. They really looked dead in the water at one point in the middle of the season, and then now they're 6th seed.
Yep. So just crazy how things work. But that's really it. As far as the Eagles, mainly I just want to focus on these games this weekend. Playoffs are back. I'm excited. You don't seem as excited as I am, but I'm just happy to see playoff football again.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
Yeah, so starting off, we have our Saturday matchups. So on Saturday afternoon, we have the Seahawks going to San Francisco to play the Niners, and the Niners are favored by 9 in that game. Where do you see this game going, Ash?
So the Niners are currently 9-point favorites.
Yeah, they're up.
Niners have won their last 10 games, I think. Like I said, I really think the Seahawks are not a playoff team. I think 9 points is honestly a little conservative as far as the spread goes. I've got the Niners winning, and I've got them winning by more than 9. I think it's definitely a 2-3 score game.
Well, the way I look at the Seahawks this year in the playoffs is they remind me of us last year. Like this is supposed to be a rebuilding year for the Seahawks, but then Gino just woke up with a mission this season. So he's went on a mission and he succeeded. So it's more like the Seahawks take me one of those teams where like they're mainly focusing on rebuilding right now. Like I think they should just be proud that they got here. You know, like that's the way I look at them. Like I don't look at them as a legit playoff team yet. I mean, I just don't see enough talent all over for me to say that, but like they definitely exceeded expectations this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's a really good comparison, actually, because we got blasted by the Buccaneers, and it was kind of like, well, we weren't even supposed to be here.
Yeah, yeah, literally. So this might be a similar affair. You might see the Niners kind of blast the Seahawks out, you know. So that game, there's not really much to talk about. I think we both kind of agree. This is the Niners are going to cover and win, in my opinion. The Seahawks might make it interesting because, again, it is one of those divisional matchups.
It's true. These teams have seen each other twice already, and it was the more recent game was actually fairly close, which I think was Brock Purdy's first or second start.
Yeah, I believe they were both fairly close. I'm looking it up right now. Niners versus Seahawks.
Yeah, the first one I know was definitely like a once.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. I want
the
more
second
about the
one.
game.
And then
Hello? Okay, I want to go to past games. I don't know. I'm trying to look it up. Yeah, Niners, they played in September. Niners won 27-7. And then more recently, it was 21-13 Niners won. So it was a little closer.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
nothing like super, super close. But I mean, they're still coming close to that 9 number. So I think they'll cover again. I mean, that's what I think is going to happen.
All right. Next game, we have
anyway.
the Chargers at the Jaguars.
Yeah, Chargers are favored by 1.5 on the road.
Yeah, one of only 2 games where the road team is favored.
Yes.
This week.
Yep. No.
What do you think?
Yes, that's correct. Yep, it's them and the Cowboys. But Chargers and Jaguars, I honestly think the Jaguars will win this game. If you don't remember earlier in the season, the Jaguars defeated the Chargers 38-10.
Yep, I do remember
The
that.
difference now is that the Jaguars have momentum. I mean, Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson have really proved to be like a pretty lethal duo right there. And I think like I saw that coming beginning of the year, but like I wasn't sure how quickly it was going to build. But now things are meshing. And I really like this team as like a dark horse team in the AFC. They could like just shake things up. Now, of course, in my opinion, they might go to the AFC Championship, but I think their run comes to an end next week. I just see them shaking things up this week, defeating the Chargers.
Yeah, I think the Chargers more than anybody definitely remember that 38-10 beatdown.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to come in with some passion. The problem is the Chargers are we've talked about it all year. They're very inconsistent. This game could end up being 38-10 Jaguars again. It could end up being 38-10 Chargers.
Yeah.
Sure, this one's really hard to predict. The Jaguars are kind of the same way. They've been coming into their own, but they're a young team. They have their slip-ups too.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Jaguars win as well, which I think they cover the spread.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the Chargers remind me of the New York Mets. They always have like a crap ton of talent on the team, but like it never plays out. Or they always like choke at the end of the season. Like it was just flops. So like my saying for the NFL is, the Chargers are going to Charger, because I used to be a huge believer in them. Like I remember every single offseason, it was like all this hype for the Chargers and how they're going to be a playoff team, and then they come out and they just flop. Now they're finally a playoff team, but like I still don't see them. I don't have enough respect. I don't have enough to say that they'll win a playoff game, even against the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are coming with momentum. That's what it all comes down to at this point is momentum. And I think the Jaguars have that. So I think the Jaguars win by at least a touchdown, if I'm being honest with you.
Okay. A touchdown. Wow.
I don't know. I feel like Trevor Lawrence is just gonna put it on,
Yeah. Side note, this is the all hair matchup. Trevor Lawrence versus Justin Herbert.
Oh yeah. I think Justin Herbert by far has a better flow, honestly. You know what Trevor Lawrence looks like?
Trevor Lawrence does look a little girlier.
I know, but like Trevor Lawrence, you know what he reminds me of?
What?
An Avatar. Like the blue people?
Blue people?
Yeah.
Okay.
He looks like an Avatar. If you pull up his picture, I don't know if our editor can pull it up, but like you can put it up like right here. Like literally looks like an avatar, a blue avatar.
I guess I always thought that he had like kind of an elongated face.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
He has like a very long face, but
yeah.
Anyway, that's not the point. So Sunday we got at 1:00 we got the Dolphins going to Buffalo to face the Bills. The Bills are favored by 13.5. Tua will not be playing. Neither will their second string quarterback. And now they're down to who? Their third stringer, who's a rookie.
Skylar Thompson.
Skylar Thompson.
Interesting little side fact about that. Skylar Thompson was also drafted in the 7th round of this year's draft, along with Brock Purdy. So we have 2 7th-round rookie quarterbacks starting this week.
That's crazy.
So odd.
That is weird. Holy smokes. So where do you see that game going? I think the Bills have like a kind of like a storybook story going on. You know, it's just like a storybook season now with the DeMar Hamlin situation. I feel like they're on a mission to just like win it all just for him, you know?
Yeah. Well, regardless of the kind of that story, this is a Miami team that's been floundering in the second half of the season. They're now under their third string quarterback. 13 and a half seems like such a small spread to me. I mean, if you remember the Bills beating the Patriots 47-7 last year.
Yeah. Are you thinking it's going to be kind of like that?
Along those lines, I think Bills cover the spread is the easiest pick of this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm slamming that this weekend, honestly. I agree with everything you said. You kind of hit everything right on its head. Yeah, this Bills Dolphins game is not looking good for Miami fans. Yeah, moving on. We got the Giants going to Minnesota to play the Vikings. The Vikings are favored by 3 here. This is another game that I'm looking at and be like, hey, you know, there could be a shakeup here. I like the Giants, honestly. They only lost by 3. It was 27-24 when they just faced a few weeks ago. I think the Giants, again, it's the first time back since 2015. The Vikings are a very fluky team, in my opinion. They've won I think they had 14 games that were within 1 score, and they've gone 13-1 in them. I mean, every single one of their wins is within 1 score.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, credit to them for winning games, but they're barely winning games. There's not. I can't point a game on their schedule and be like, yeah, I'm confident in them because of that win.
Right.
Even the 33-point comeback, you know, even despite that, I just don't have a good feeling about the Vikings. I feel like they're very, very fluky.
Yeah. Well, you don't want a Super Bowl contender. That was the Jeff Saturday coached Indianapolis Colts.
Right.
It's not really the game that you want to be coming back 33-0 from. You got to think about their game against us, 24-7. The Cowboys game, 40-3. This is a 13-4 team that has a negative point differential. However, I feel like they're favorites in Vegas. I feel like the general consensus, just from what I've seen on Instagram and Twitter and things, is the public favors the Giants. And
really?
I think they're kind of feeling the same way you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's caused Minnesota to become a little underrated. This is still a 2 seed. This is a team that went 13-4. You know, 13 wins is nothing to sneeze at. You got to respect the team being able to pull tough wins out. You remember that overtime win against the Bills, who are probably the Super Bowl favorites right now. So I've got Minnesota covering at home.
You got Minnesota covering. Yeah, man. It really is a toss-up, but I don't know. I just feel like the Giants are going to win this game. I think we're going to face them, come next week.
I prefer that. I don't want to see the Cowboys in the second round, honestly.
Right. I mean, I don't really care if we face the Giants or Cowboys, but obviously I would prefer the Giants.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of the Cowboys, if I'm being honest with you, and we'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
But before we go into that, we got one last game on Sunday. On Sunday night, we got the Baltimore Ravens going to the Bengals, going to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Another ugly matchup for Lamar Jackson is not going to be playing. I mean, is he officially ruled out, or I don't know?
Not expected to play. It's such an odd situation. I don't know if you've been following it.
It's just an MCL sprain or something like that, right?
Yeah. The Ravens have kind of kept their lips sealed, and then just yesterday or 2 days ago, Lamar tweeted this long tweet out that kind of went into detail about what the injury is, which is so weird to hear the injury information from the player himself,
right? Yeah,
not the team.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, it seems like the knee's still inflamed. It definitely seems like it's not probable that he plays this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but no official designation yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's very sketchy what the Ravens are doing, how they're handling it. I don't really understand, because I keep on wondering if he's gonna play or not, but there's just nothing coming from him. Anyway, again, very ugly matchup. Bengals are favored by 9. I see the line showing. I mean, I think Vegas knows here. I don't think it's gonna be that close. I saw the Ravens getting blown out first round anyway. Again, it's one of those teams that's been floundering towards the end of the season. I mean, they look like dog crap. I mean, they're lucky they won 2 games without Lamar.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised they got into the playoffs instead of losing out. Like, I don't know how. I think their defense just like carried them. I don't know. I think it's miraculous that they're there. If I'm being honest with you.
I think Lamar made like a weird dark horse MVP case for himself just from how bad the team was without him.
Yeah.
You can really see. Because remember before the season we were talking about how few weapons Lamar has now that they traded Hollywood Brown, and you couldn't really tell while he was in just because he creates so much offense by himself. And when he's out, you can see this offense is like it feels like the Steelers. It feels like whatever team you can name that has
feels like the Texans. It reminds me a lot of the Texans offense.
Yeah,
it's like so like one dimensional and like plain,
predictable. No. Yeah, you can see that, and it's just weird to say. The offense looks so
close. It's close to the. Did you watch the Colts Chargers game on Thursday Night Football a couple weeks ago? I don't know if it was the game that Nick Foles started.
Yes. Yeah. He threw like 3 picks.
That Colts offense, like this Ravens offense without Lamar, reminds me of the Colts offense with Nick Foles. Like awful, like so bad. But anyway, I think we both agree that this is gonna be a blowout, right?
Agreed.
Yeah, fair enough. So one last game, and it is my favorite game of the week, honestly. It is the Dallas Cowboys going to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers. Cowboys are favored by 2.5 on the road. Asher, why don't you start off with some thoughts on that game?
This is not my game of the week just because it's the evil empire versus like Darth Vader in my mind. I don't want to see Tom Brady win. I don't want to see the Cowboys win. I mean, it's really a lose-lose. I guess I'd rather see the Buccaneers win just because they're less scary to me should we face them in the second round. But I don't know. I mean, I think it'll probably be close. I have Dallas covering what is a 2.5 point spread. I think it'll probably be, like a 27-23 kind of game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This game's really, really tough. I think what happens is it's really tight down the stretch. I mean, I'm going to give you some detail here. It's 27-24 Cowboys. Tom Brady's driving down the field, and Micah Parsons gets like a strip sack on Tom Brady to end the game. Like, I think it's like going to come down to that. Like, Tom Brady's going to be driving down the field, but he fails against that.
Super Bowl. Huh? A Brandon Graham in the Super Bowl type thing.
Nothing can beat that. Like, I'm not going to say the Cowboys can do that kind of shit.
Similar situation, though.
But like, it's a similar situation. But it's just a wild card game, like it's not the Super Bowl. So
yeah, it's interesting because the Buccaneers are 8-9. I think they're only the 6th team with a losing record to ever make it to the playoffs.
There was a 6-10 team back in there was a 6-win team that made the playoffs.
Yeah, there's been some, definitely not the worst team to ever make the playoffs.
No.
And Tom Brady is still quarterbacking the team, so it's weird that we're looking at a team with a losing record, and then we're also saying like this team could possibly make the Super Bowl. If Tom Brady becomes like Tom Brady of old. And then the Cowboys kind of a similar thing, where this is a 12-13 win team, but they just lost 26-6 versus the Commanders last week. Yeah. And like they kind of always lose in the first round of the playoffs. So like this is a team that we should probably be saying could go to the Super Bowl. And like I feel like they're not going to for sure. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I don't think that many people, if you're not a Dallas fan, outside of Dallas fans, I don't think anybody has that much confidence in the Cowboys to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, they have to double their win total in the playoffs this season alone, this postseason alone, in the past 20 years. I think they only have 2 playoff wins or 3 playoff wins.
Yeah,
in the last 20 years.
I mean, it's a team with a poor history since those 90s, that 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely
exactly. But yeah, so Asher. Which out of these games are you most looking forward to watching this weekend?
I think unquestionably for me, it's Chargers-Jacksonville. I think that's just a really intriguing matchup kind of like this upstart team. Well, they're both kind of upstart teams, but like the Jaguars is just kind of like, we're happy to be here. I can't believe we made the playoffs. And the Chargers, it's like, oh my God, we have to win. Like, I've heard reports that if they don't win this game, their coach is going to be fired.
Yeah.
So it's like this team is like so desperate.
It's
and
not.
then the Jaguars are just kind of like, oh, we're in the playoffs. Like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all relaxing and stuff. Plus Doug Peterson, dude. Doug Peterson, first playoff game since being here in Philadelphia. So that'd be cool. So that's definitely up there for me. But I'm really looking at that Giants-Vikings game. I think that's one of the most intriguing ones all weekend. I think the Giants are coming in kind of like, if you think about it, the last couple of times that the Giants have made the playoffs, they've been like a dark horse. They've been 10-6 and 9-7. And they were like one of those teams that, like, if they make it to the playoffs, then they go all the way. I'm not saying this team, because obviously both of those times Eli Manning was the quarterback.
Yeah.
Now it's Daniel Jones, so I'm not sure if that's really going to be the case. But it's still interesting because I'm looking at that Vikings team and just have a lot of doubts. So I think it'd be really cool to see the Giants kind of pull that out, especially after their last matchup. I mean, did you know they lost on a 61-yard field goal? The Giants, they lost on a 61-yard field goal to the Vikings.
I didn't. I know they lost on a 61-yard field goal to us.
And they did, but they did that. But like earlier in the season, literally, earlier in the season. Do you remember that?
I don't. I remember like that game. I don't think I specifically watched that game. I definitely remember like seeing the Vikings beat the Giants.
It was crazy. But anyway, that's what happened last game. So like, given that game, like, I just can't wait to watch that game. If I'm being honest. Plus, I know people that are Giants fans, so I'm rooting against the Giants because I'm an Eagles fan, but like I'm rooting for them because I'm an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that game, but definitely a close second is the Chargers-Jaguars game.
And then I think I can agree that those are the top two. I'll put the Cowboys-Buccaneers game third just because I think none of the other games are going to be close.
No, not really. But yeah, so that should really just wrap it up for us this week here on 2 and 5 Scoop Podcast. Thank you for listening. Make sure to subscribe. We are on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere, you name it. We are there. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful 3-day weekend. If you have off work on Monday, I don't know. But have a good 3-day weekend. Stay safe, stay warm, and go Birds.
Birds, yeah. So we'll be back next week actually talking about some Eagles football.
Yeah, we got lots in store for next week. So we'll see you guys then.